everybody, it's me, Aline. If you're new here, as I said, my name is Aline and I am a 22-year-old lady who usually lives in New York City but is currently home in Montana and her childhood home because of what's going on in the world right now. The majority of me and Michelle's content is weekly vlogs, daily vlogs, any kind of vlog, we got you. But because basically our day-to-day has started looking very similar to each other, we decided to shake things up with the occasional different video, different category, different something or other, so that we can keep regularly uploading for you guys and that you won't get bored, you know? Pros all around. So today, this video, the one that you're currently watching, is brought to you by all of your requests in YouTube comments and DMs on Instagram. Because I swear to God, every single time I cook, I have like multiple messages asking me how I made the thing that I was making. And apparently you guys really want to see more recipe stuff, more cook with me's, and I'm going to start integrating that more into vlogs. But today is going to be all about what I eat in a day of being at home and cooking at home. I tried to cover all the bases in breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a baked good. So, ooh, watch out. We're gonna be making pancakes. We're gonna be making vanilla cupcakes. And we're gonna be making a rice grain salad bowl. And we're also gonna be finishing the night off with scalloped potatoes. All of the recipes are gonna be linked down below. So if you want a shortcut, all the recipes are down there for you to check out. But if you wanna watch my how-tos with commentary, pro tips from a self-proclaimed master chef, which I definitely am not, like my mom does help me make rice in this very video. I love you guys, let's get into it. Hey everybody, we're kicking it off with breakfast. It's currently a Wednesday morning and the sun is shining bright here in Montana, and I have finally caved and decided to give you the recipe for the probably like the most highly requested breakfast item that I make, and that is, you guessed it, my blueberry pancakes. Drum roll please. I guess I did the drum roll late. Should have been blueberry pancakes, but I guess you can always drum roll for celebration purposes. I am so excited to make pancakes, mostly because I get to eat them at the end of this, but also because honestly, I'm tired of seeing these mediocre pancakes in the media. This is the real MVP recipe. I got it on All Recipes like ages ago. It never fails me, and I'm gonna go ahead and make them for you today along with my tips and tricks for making the most successful pancake that you can. Let's get into it. Also, if you guys were wondering, yes, my hair is shorter than all the other clips. I did give myself a haircut last night. Right now I am multiplying the recipe by 1.5 because my family is a family of 4, but this recipe is perfect for people of 2 or 3. Dry ingredients are going into a bowl. I'm just using one about this size. So I just finished putting the baking powder in, and something that you'll notice about this recipe is that it does have a lot of baking powder in it. I always use half a teaspoon less than it tells me to. They get so fluffy anyway that I don't think they need the extra half, and I think it always makes it a little bit, because baking powder has that weird like tang aftertaste if it's just too much, so I don't like that. Call me crazy. Look, this TikTok thing, acting stupid. What's happening? Okay, anyone on TikTok? No, just me? Cool. Just kidding. Millions and millions. Just you. Michelle, I just said just kidding. Millions and millions. Add in the salt, and it always says 1 tablespoon of sugar. I always like add a little bit more, probably like a tablespoon and a 1/4 tablespoon, somewhere along there. I think that when they're a little bit sweeter, it does help with the baking powder taste, and also it just makes it taste better. So that's just my pro tip. Add a little bit more than it tells you to. Yeah. Another pro tip, oh god, I just got an email from Bernie Sanders. That is very sad. No one likes to see that. I mean, I'm sure some people do, just not me. Anyway, I'm gonna melt down my butter now, and I would suggest doing this while you're still doing your dry ingredients because it does call for melted butter. If you do it right when you need it, the butter will just be really hot. It might like clump up within the milk later, which is just not a good look. So yeah, do it now so that it can set and cool down a little bit, so it's a little bit more room temperature by the time you need to use it. Okay, so now that all the dry ingredients are together, you want to go ahead and make a well in the middle, classic pancake, and then we're gonna add the wet ingredients in the middle and mix them together. Okay, so here's the batter. It looks good. It still's got some clumps. It's a little bit thinner than usual, but I'm still happy with that. You're gonna start heating your pan. I would say medium heat always, but just give it a while to heat up. You do want it to be hot when you start cooking, so that you don't have the bad pancake, you know, when it's just like too pale and lumpy and weird. Got my blueberries right here, ready to go. And while that's happening, what you can do is that you can set up like where you're gonna put your pancakes after you're done. So I stained a lot of tea towels when I lived here. When I'm doing pancakes, I like to get like a dirty tea towel and a plate, put the folded tea towel over the plate just like that, and in this flap is where you're gonna put the pancakes, and then you're gonna cover them so that they stay nice and toasty. So now you're gonna grease your griddle or your pan, and you're just gonna, I don't know, I always cut off just a chunk of butter like this, swirl it around, and then just let it heat up a little bit. So you can use whatever you like to spoon the pancake batter. I like this little mini ladle that I have, but you can use like a half cup or something. Probably a quarter cup would be best. You do want to try to make them like pretty small because they're gonna grow. Yeah, I'm just gonna get spoon in here. And right away, I'm hearing a very satisfying sizzling sound, so that makes me happy. I try to do 3 to a pan. I wish I had like a bigger pan or a bigger griddle, but it's fine since my parents are out hiking. There is literally no rush. And now I'm gonna put a couple of blueberries on them. They're a little thin from what I'm noticing. So worst comes to worst, I'm gonna put a little bit more flour in them, but this is gonna be, I wanna see what happens in the heat and then go from there. As you can see, they have puffed up, which makes me feel much better. They look great, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip them. I always start with the one that I did first, so this guy back here. Look at that, beautiful. That looks great. I love the way the tops turned out. So I just cleaned off the pan. The pancakes came out great. I just had a sample of one. They taste divine. So I'm pretty pumped to clean that off so that things don't start burning, because that's not what you want to do. Always keep an eye on your temperature. As soon as you start like overheating shit, it's not gonna be good. Worst comes to worst, you have a burnt pancake, but like in all honesty, who wants that? So just keep an eye on the temperature. Feel free to fiddle with it as you read the pan. You don't ever want smoke, you don't ever want burnt butter. Keep an eye out for that. Hi guys, so the pancakes are done and I have this quite impressive stack right over here. As you can see, they look stunning. I also want to let you guys know that you don't have to do blueberries if you don't want. You can go crazy with different mix-ins that you can add depending on your preferences. I personally love banana pancakes. I don't really like chocolate chip, but all of them would work. All of them would work with this batter, so feel free to explore. My bangs are doing something crazy. Looks like a floating something. I don't know. Like, yes, it does. Truly, thank you. Hi guys, so it is of course time for lunch, which I'm very excited to share. I think it's probably one of the most accessible meals that I have prepared for you in this whole video. So I'm excited to share because I think lots of people could make a version of this in their own house. And that is a mixed grain salad bowl. Healthy. Kind of is, I would say it is high to medium healthy, depending on what your idea of healthy is in this world. Your standards. Yeah, your standards of healthy. If you are a complete vegan, you'll be like, If you're a clean eater, you'll be like, If you're a paleo, you'd be like, So let's just get started, shall we? First up is I'm going to teach you guys how to make a salad dressing.
I'm sorry, but like the second I discovered dressings being a thing, I was like, I like salad.
Yeah, so while the rice is cooking, you can go ahead and start making your dressing for your salad, which is pretty exciting stuff. When I make my dressing, it doesn't come from any recipe. I just throw a bunch of stuff that I like together. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys what I do. There isn't really a lot of measurements. It's a lot of eyeballing it, which I know is sometimes unhelpful. Your first ingredient is Dijon mustard. If you do not like Dijon mustard, maybe you won't like this dressing, but I'm not a huge Dijon mustard fan. I'm never like, put some Dijon on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and squirt some in there. About like a quarter of the bottle. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and add olive oil. Any good dressing will have plenty of olive oil. Also make it nice and liquidy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some sour cream. Not too much, but just a little bit. So now it's time to add a little bit of sweetness, which is why we have our honey bear here. And we're gonna just squirt in a little bit of cheeky honey. Not too much, it's probably literally about a teaspoon or so. Maybe a teaspoon and a half. All right, I just ground some pepper in there. We're gonna add in a little pinch of table salt. I'm gonna throw in some cilantro, just a teensy little bit. And because it's kind of liquidy, but still not the kind of runny that I want, it's really dense, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of water. See, so that looks about right. All right, now that is done. So to begin, we are going to be making some rice for the bowl. Now, fun fact, I'm quite awful at making rice. As I say, I'm only human. So, my mom is here to tell you and tell me how to make successful rice. Because my rice comes out always a little bit hard, a little bit weird.
Terrible.
Thanks, Michelle. It's clumpy, it's bad. My mom, resident rice expert, is here to teach us. So take it away, Ma. What do you have to tell the group?
First of all, I have basmati long grain brown rice. And what I do is I wash the rice. So I'm going to do 2 cups of rice.
So why are you washing it? What does this do?
The thing is, you want to try to take some of the starch off, and I plead ignorance if the brown rice doesn't have as much as white rice, but I just go ahead and give it a wash. I put it in a colander and I just go to the sink and I run it through some cold water, and that's what I do. That's all you do for washing it. Just give it a good rinse. So I'm gonna go over here and rinse it. Give it a bit of a shake. You can leave it there on the edge just to drip a little bit.
Oh, look at that.
Go ahead and turn on the heat underneath your pot. And I put 1 3/4 cups of water to every cup of rice.
I see you're putting in the water first.
Yes. I like to make my rice with bouillon, and this is a vegetable bouillon. You can use chicken or beef, whatever your preference is. And I really love this better than bouillon. I think it's really, really good.
Now, what does the bouillon do to the rice?
It gives it flavor. It's basically what it is. You do not have to do it with bouillon. You can just go ahead and put some salt into your water, but I just think it gives it a little more flavor. Depending on how much rice you're making, obviously, it says on it how much you should use. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put in just a heaped dessert spoon into my water.
Whoop. You talking ratchy, baby, helpy, dibby, dobby, don't she sticky? Yeah, she's sticky.
Just go ahead and mix up that bouillon in the water. The water with the bouillon, that's ready. Now I'm gonna get my rice.
Remember how previously Anne-Marie had placed the rice on the side of the sink? Now we're coming back to it and she's taking it over to the pot in order to make her rice.
Now I'm gonna give it 1 stir, and I'm gonna put the lid on.
Oh.
And I'm gonna bring that to the boil. Once it comes to the boil, I'm going to turn it down onto low, and I'm just gonna let it boil until all of the water evaporates. I just check on it a couple times. I don't put a timer on. I just make sure I don't disappear and forget about my rice. Because it's all different depending on how much water there is in there. But the big thing is don't stir it again. Don't touch your rice. Like that rice, when it's all like soggy and sticky when you make it, you go, why doesn't it come out? Why isn't it nice and separated? It's probably because you've stirred it a couple times, especially when you're trying to figure out if there's still water in the bottom. So
how do you do that?
You can listen, because you'll check on your rice. You can lift the lid, and there'll be no noise, because all of the water will have, or all of the liquid will have evaporated from the bottom.
When you wear your pine, you look below the world, you left the things you know.
So now it's come to a boil. So now we're gonna go ahead and cover it again and turn our heat down to low.
We'll check back soon.
Yep.
My mom just told me to come look at my rice, so here I am.
So, can you hear anything?
Oh,
Listen.
a little.
But not Not the sound of bubbling water.
No, not the
It's
sound
dry.
of bubbling water.
Remember when you looked in before and you could see like the water was still bubbling up in those little holes?
Yeah.
So now we go ahead and we cover it and we turn it off.
And do we leave it sit for a while?
Yeah, we let it sit for a little while. Probably about 10-15 minutes.
Excellent. Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now that the rice is done, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna throw the chicken into a pan. So I'm just using this rotisserie chicken that I got at my local organic health food store, but you can use any kind of chicken that you like, or you can use a non-animal substitute if you like. Maybe something soy that you enjoy, maybe some falafel. Am I right? Am I right? So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in a pan. I'm just gonna spritz the pan with a little bit of non-stick coconut oil. I'm not gonna put too much chicken in. That's the right amount. No one needs like a ton of bird. I want the surface of the chicken to get like nice and like colored on one side. That's why I'm gonna put it in there and I'm literally gonna just leave it, because if you are constantly shifting it around or flipping it, then you can't get like a nice crispy color on either side. So yeah, that's gonna be over here sizzling. I've got my bowl out, I'm gonna put it to the side. So I've got a couple things here that are gonna top my salad. First of all, I've got apple juice sweetened cranberries, avocado, and feta cheese. So I'm just gonna chop these cranberries because they're whole cranberries. I don't want to deal with them like that. Now we're gonna cut the avocado. Bam, beautiful. What a looker. Chicken is sizzling, rice has been cooked. My mom said to fluff it with a fork to show you guys how all of them are in individual pieces. So I've taken my rice over to my station and it's gonna serve as the base. You're not gonna need too much really, because it's more of a salad than a grain bowl, but it's just gonna sit at the bottom there. On top, we're gonna go ahead and place our greens. So I like to put them off to the side so that you can still kind of see the rice peeking through at the bottom. Some spinach. Sounds like our chicken is ready. See how nice that looks, just goldenly seared. This is like half. I put the chicken at like 1/4, and we're gonna go ahead and put the avocado in that little nook that I've made. So they do this at Dig in New York, which is that they drizzle the avocado in olive oil while it's still in the shell, and then they salt it. And so now I'm just gonna cut it, and it'll come out on your spoon like that. I'm gonna lay it down now in its bed of greens. So now it is time to dress it. Now I'm just going to sprinkle my cranberries over it. I'm gonna sprinkle some feta cheese. Finally, a little bit of that dressing that we made. Okay, and that is the finished product. I think that it is a beautiful, healthy lunch that is actually really easy to put together. So if you're looking for a low maintenance dish to kind of shake up your salad bowl consumption, would highly recommend this bad boy.
Is this a taste test?
This is the taste test time. Look how you cut this avocado so well. Thanks. That's close. So something that my family and I have been doing to keep spirits high during this time is to have a nightly dessert. Basically, me and my mom here. Oh, hi. You can eat this.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi there. We usually like take turns baking different sweets for the nightly dessert when we watch either Downton Abbey. We've also been watching Sex Education together. It's not like a classic watch with your parents show, but something that we have been enjoying nonetheless. So recently we ran out of our last dessert. My mom made us chocolate mousse. It was delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and make vanilla cupcakes today. So you guys are gonna come along with me while I do that. So anyway, I'm making moist vanilla cupcakes, and let's get started. It's chopping off my head a little bit here, but this seems good, because worst comes to worst, how important are my nose and eyes anyway? So basically it's asking me to sift all the dry ingredients together. A pro tip, I don't know, this might be obvious, but it wasn't obvious to me when I started baking at the age of 9. So I would like to explain it. When it says to sift, I just use this handy dandy colander. So if you don't have a sifter, you can always use that, and that's a fun little hack for you. So check that out. Yeah, nice. I'm just gonna dump everything together, gently toss it while it's not sifted yet, and then I'm gonna sift it. Because then if you just go stirring it after it's been sifted, basically you're just ruining your own work. Now we're gonna separate some eggs. So now it's time for all the wet ingredients. So I don't have whole milk because we are currently out, but I don't want to run to the store because I've been avoiding the store. So what I have here is a combination of evaporated milk and oat milk, which I combined together. I used these in some scones that I made over the weekend, and it actually worked out really well. I found that if I just use oat milk, sometimes mixtures might not rise like they're supposed to, so I don't want to play with that while making cupcakes, something that is supposed to rise. So yeah, I'm gonna use this. Bye, love you. Alright, because I have the time and I have the batter, I'm gonna pop these in as a test set. Sometimes you're just not sure about how far they're gonna rise. I think I filled them the appropriate amount, but I just wanna be sure. So I'm gonna pop these guys in and check on them in like 12 minutes. Okay, so they're out of the oven, and I've noticed that they got a good height, but still I might add like just a little bit more batter to the next round. Check out the frosting down below. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah. Here we got the cupcakes, and they are finished. I don't really like the way that they turned out very much appearance-wise. They look very birthday party-esque, but they do soothe me because of that same reason. So, you know, a lot of conflicting feelings, but I'm sure they're gonna taste great. They were amazing. Yeah, I'm excited. Hey everybody, now it's time for dinner of the day. Usually in a day, I try not to do 2 chicken feasts back to back. I try to have at least 2 meals in the day that are meat-free. Sometimes, you know, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So I'm gonna have a second chicken-ish dish for you, but the star of the meal will be potato themed. So do with that what you will. So tonight we are making scalloped potatoes, some grilled rotisserie chicken, and grilled veggies, and a salad. So stay tuned. Let's jump into it, shall we? All right, to begin, I'm going to be just peeling potatoes. I would assume you all know how to peel. Sometimes I don't even really know how to peel, so I don't know why that came out so judgy. I'm very slow and bad at it, but we're gonna do it anyway. There's 7 potatoes. You can do the same size and just have it as leftovers, or you can just do a smaller version. I will also have this recipe linked down below because I think I am using one from like food.com or something, or She Likes to Eat. Let's get peeling. Was that charming? I hope. So I've ended up peeling 3 extra potatoes. Here they are. I'm gonna pop them in some water just to sit that I have here, just so they don't oxidize an uncomfortable amount, because I'm gonna make basically a bechamel sauce right now. So I'm gonna pop them in there and then slice them up finer once the sauce is done. Okay, I'm here by the stovetop, and I have some butter going. Oh, wait, there's some foil from the wrapping that just got caught in there. You see, guys, I'm human, I make mistakes too. Right now I've got the butter going here, and I'm gonna pop in the flour because that's what it told me to do. Baby, love really hurts without you.
Yeah. Okay.
feel like I've been consuming a lot of dairy in this. Promise I'm not just a cow milk girl. Okay. Thank you. I it slowly because I don't trust what it's telling me to do. It is boiling, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw in my cheese. I have 3 mix. It says cheddar in the recipe, but I have mozzarella, provolone, and Havarti, which will do fine. Cheese is cheese, and it's delicious. Ooh, cheesy looking yummy. Look at that. Also smells amazing. Okay, so the kitchen's quite messy, so please ignore that. But like, here's the bechamel, looking tight. I seasoned it with some pepper, some salt, some paprika, and some nutmeg. I just sliced these up, and I'm gonna layer them in this pan. Okay, I have officially updated the pan, so I'm dealing with a much bigger pan now, which is great, because I turned out I have like a million potatoes, so fantastic. The bechamel's over there, and I'm just gonna layer potato cheese until I run out of layers. Okay, as we can see here, layers have been layered, and the top is just like potato with a thin layer of sauce. And now we're going to sprinkle some plot twist, more cheese on top in order to get that crispy crust. Now I'm just sprinkling some paprika on top to give it some nice color. And also some pepper. And of course, some salt. Now it's just gonna go in for as long as it needs. Do I have something? It's cheese. Okay, so in here I've just popped some veggies to sear really quick so I can have them as another side. So I just have leeks, onions, and red peppers because that's what we had. And now I'm gonna go ahead and grill, or I guess just heat up in a pan this chicken.
Oh my God.
Okay guys, so the potatoes came out of the oven, and that's what they ended up looking like. I did end up putting some chives on top, so if you're wondering what those little specks are. And then I also grilled up these peppers and leeks and onions. And then here's the chicken. Michelle made a salad, dressings, and we're ready to go. Yum. So here's dinner. Yum. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate y'all. Hope you had a good time. I had a really good time making this video. Follow me and Michelle on Instagram if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.